Whew, what a day. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially hired Luke Getsy to be their next offensive coordinator. Earlier today, Kliff Kingsbury bailed out of a deal that he originally not officially signed, but it was a formality that he was going to end up taking the contract. He wanted the 3-year deal. The Raiders only offered him a 2-year deal, and I do think that there was some more to that, maybe some quarterback discussion on top of that, which is maybe why he is no longer the OC. So you take all of that information, and then there was reports coming out that the Raiders could potentially be looking at Eric Bieniemy was a name that they were throwing out there. Pep Hamilton was a name that was being thrown out there. And now, and just a few hours later, the Las Vegas Raiders have landed on a brand new OC and Luke Getsy. And coming up here on today's show, I'll go through everything that I think about Getsy and whether or not I think it's going to be a good hire, whether or not, which way the Raiders are going to go, and which quarterback the Raiders decide to go with now, because realistically, the Getsy offense and the Kliff Kingsbury offense are very different. So I'll kind of get into all that here in just a second. But I know that we're not at the studio. It's pretty late here in Dallas, Texas, and unfortunately, I don't have any producers that are available to me. We're getting ready to go to the Super Bowl, so that's why you're getting a video here at home. But if you're trying to stay up to date on everything going on around the Raiders, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you got those notifications turned on, because anytime stuff happens, I will do my best, even if I'm just chilling at home, to be able to keep you guys in the loop. All right, so coming up, we'll kind of get into this a little bit background information on Getsy. For those that do not know, he was the Bears offensive coordinator the past 2 seasons, so he was working with Justin Fields, and the offense was able to run the football effectively. Both of those years, they finished top 2 in rushing yards. Now, I do think that Justin Fields had a big say in all that regards. However, though, Getsy has not been able to get the passing offense going whatsoever. Now, sure, you could say maybe that's to do with Justin Fields, but I'm just going to tell you, man, a lot of my friends that are tied in with the Bears, and, our guy here at Chat Sports that's tied in with the Bears, they're laughing at us right now, the fact that we got Getsy. This seems like a Josh McDaniels, John Gruden. I'm not saying that they run similar systems, but it's kind of like that air out of the feeling offense. I wanted something that was fun, something that was going to be stretching the football down the field, a lot of pre-snap motion. Now, maybe Getsy does something a little bit different. Maybe, they bring in a guy like Hugh Jackson who can help them spice things up a little bit. But overall, I did think it was a little bit of a lackluster hire, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Hell, when I put out my video of the top Raiders OC candidates, Getsy was number 5 on that list. I know that Antonio Pierce has said that he kind of wants to run the football, and I know before I've talked about Josh Jacobs, but this is the type of move right here that makes me think that they are going to go with a more run-heavy type of offense, that they could potentially bring back Josh Jacobs. I don't necessarily know if Justin Fields makes sense, considering the fact that Getsy didn't know how to use Fields in the first place. This offense now makes me really, really wonder what direction the Raiders are going to decide to go in. It's going to be an interesting offseason, let's just say that. So how about this? Give me your one-word reaction to the Las Vegas Raiders hiring Luke Getsy to be their offensive coordinator. My one word is lackluster, and I feel just like I wanted a little bit more. I've been watching a bunch of food stuff here tonight, and I feel like I ordered this 5-star greasy cheeseburger, and I got something off the dollar menu here on McDonald's. And it's just because you go from the high of the high, and it's not that I absolutely loved Kliff Kingsbury. I thought it was going to be a more of an exciting offense. Now with Getsy, he's got to be able to prove some people wrong, I'll tell you that, because, you go back to thinking AP and him talking about what he was looking for as an intro press conference. It's not. It's not what the Getsy offense is run. And, I'm kind of laughing here a little bit at Vic Tafer's tweet where it says, if Getsy is the next Raiders OC, he didn't meet Pierce's 24 points a game requirement in Chicago. The Bears ranked 23rd with 19.2 and 18th and 21.2 in points per game the last 2 seasons. He's making that joke because at AP's press conference with Tom Telesco, they said that they were looking for a minimum of 24 points, and that's just not what Getsy was able to do. But we'll see what ends up happening here. I think that he's going to need a mobile quarterback, but to me, it just seems like they rushed into it. Like they wanted to get going. They hired Kliff Kingsbury, and then it was the first person that they saw they fell in love with, and they said, "Marry me." I don't know, man. Getsy, 39 years old, interviewed with the Raiders, Patriots, and Saints this offseason. Was the OC with the Bears last year. They're ranked second in the NFL in rushing attempts in 31 and rushing yards 141 per game. So second in the NFL in rushing attempts, second in the NFL in yards per game. But again, I think that has a lot to do with Justin Fields. I will admit there was a theory that I thought of why the Raiders could potentially be looking at Fields, and it's because my source reached out to me and told me that, again, they were trying to offer Kliff a 2-year deal. Kliff apparently was looking for a 3-year deal. Justin Fields has 2 years left on his contract. So if the Raiders were to trade for him, he'd have $6 million this year. And then if they wanted to give him that 5th-year option, they have to do it by May 2nd. He would end up getting $22 million in the following year. That makes me wonder now even more because, again, Getsy has worked with Fields. You're going down an interesting path going with a quarterback that didn't work with somebody in another city, but maybe you're more confident in your guys all around him. And again, maybe you bring in a guy like Hugh or Pep Hamilton to spice it up a little bit. But the fact that Fields has 2 years left, the fact that, according to my source, that they were saying that he was looking for a 2-year deal, I am intrigued by that overall. But I know that it's not going to be Caleb Williams. To me, Caleb's going to end up going to the Commanders. They're going to be figuring out a deal there. I will say that I've always been intrigued by the fact that I think that this is a team that loves Jaden Daniels, and they're going to continue to look at Jaden as being that guy. Maybe Jaden Daniels is the quarterback that they're targeting, where he's a better QB than Fields, but Fields is the better runner than Jaden. I mean, there's going to be a lot to speculate. There's going to be a lot to break down. But I know this. I know that when I get back into my studio on Monday, we are going to do a deep dive on who the best quarterbacks are for a Luke Getsy offense. I wish I was up here hooting and hollering, screaming, and I know I hate being a guy that's like, hey, man, I promise y'all we're going to go live, but I feel kind of deflated. Like, I don't want to just celebrate this move. Like, yes, I'm looking forward now to the Raiders going in a different direction, but celebrating the hire of Luke Getsy seems a little underwhelming. I hope I'm wrong on this hire. I hope that it ends up being the right one, and I hope that we can scream and definitely score over 24 points per game. But at this current moment, it's like, man, I feel like where we were just a few days ago to this one was definitely not the hiring that I like, and I feel like Mark Davis and maybe the Raiders hit the panic button a little bit, but we'll see what ends up happening here. Friendly reminder again, if you want to hang out with Chugs and I in Las Vegas, we're going to be there for Super Bowl 58 at the Ahern Hotel. It's going to be getting started somewhere around 2 o'clock. $99 for all you can eat, all you can drink. The link's going to be chatsports.com/biggame. That is chatsports.com/BIGGAME. It's going to be a fun time. If you're wondering, is it kid safe? The answer is if you let your kids watch Raiders Sport, then yes, it's absolutely kid safe. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see if anything else happens today. But, man, it has been a long, long day. The Las Vegas Raiders have hired Luke Getsy, former Bears offensive coordinator, to be their offensive coordinator. For more videos around the Las Vegas Raiders, make sure you click this button right here, subscribe, staying up to date. For even more videos, these are the videos that Chuck personally recommends, and he's a little bit upset because we were snuggling when the breaking news happened, and, well, now we're not. And then even more content you can find right over here. Appreciate all y'all for checking out all the videos here. And, again, hit that subscribe button.